I started my YouTube channel just a little under 2 years ago, and since then I've had a bunch of people ask me why I started my YouTube channel in the first place. And to answer that question, I thought I'd give you a little bit of insight into how I started my journey into woodworking. I'll give you the short version. About 20 years ago, when we were living in our old townhouse, we had a deck off of our kitchen that was starting to rot. At least the deck boards were. The structure of the deck was fine. At that time, we really couldn't afford to hire somebody to replace the deck boards, so I thought, I can do this myself. So I went to my local home center and picked up really the cheapest miter saw I could find, which was a very inexpensive Delta 10-inch miter saw. And I bought some pressure-treated lumber and replaced all of the boards myself. It really wasn't a very difficult project, but that's what really got me started and what got me sort of addicted to woodworking. So of course, to install these deck boards, I needed a drill. So I got a really cheap set of battery Black & Decker power tools, including a drill and a reciprocating saw and a couple of other things that I really don't remember, including a dustbuster, which never really worked. But again, that got me addicted to woodworking, and from there it just kind of snowballed. So then when we moved into this house, I finally had a space, even though it was a small one, to finally have some real large power tools. So of course I needed to learn how to use all of these tools, so I turned to YouTube. I watched all of the videos I could find, and that's really how I learned woodworking. I read a few magazines here and there, but it was really YouTube that got me started and really taught me how to use all of these tools safely. So having done woodworking for almost 20 years now, I thought, what better way to sort of give back to the YouTube community than start a channel of my own? So rather than try to teach you something in this video, I'm going to go over the YouTubers that I have found over the past several years that I really like and follow pretty religiously. Now, I will say that I follow probably several hundred woodworkers on YouTube, so if I don't mention you in this video, it doesn't mean that I don't like you or your channel, or that I don't find your channel useful or instructive or educational or entertaining. It just means that either I haven't found you or I just don't have time to mention everybody. So with that out of the way, let's get started. I'm going to separate these channels into 5 different categories. The first category I call the engineers. These are folks who either are engineers or have some sort of engineering knowledge or capabilities that they put on full display on their YouTube channels. The first, and really the guy who got me into woodworking on YouTube, was Matthias Wandel. And Matthias, I hope I'm pronouncing your first and last names right. Matthias is from Canada, and he is absolutely brilliant. He builds a lot of his own power tools from plywood and found wood and construction lumber, and he is, like I said, absolutely brilliant. Next is Marius Hornberger, who I believe actually is a German engineer. You know the reputation that German engineers have. But Marius also builds a lot of his own power tools, including an oscillating, tilting spindle sander that he 3D printed a lot of the parts for. If you haven't seen that video, it'll be linked down in the description. Again, absolutely brilliant. Speaking of brilliant, Izzy Swan is another engineer and inventor. One of the first channels that I watched where he uses a power drill to power all kinds of different inventions and contraptions. It's really impossible for me to describe. Another channel I've been enjoying lately is JSK Kubu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And the last one is Young G, or Young J. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. But again, channels who show a lot of really interesting engineering when it comes to woodworking. The next category of channels that I watch are restorers and repairers. There are 3 that I really watch and enjoy a lot. The first is AT Restoration. He is an Estonian restorer named Ati, who is an absolute master at restoring furniture. He works on a lot of Soviet-era furniture and a lot of Eastern European furniture from that era, and restores it not to like new, but to a state where you can see that it's an antique, but it looks beautiful. Absolutely recommend his channel. Another one is Dashner Design. This is a guy, Jared Dashner from Minnesota, I think, who uses a lot of found furniture and furniture that he finds in thrift stores, and he restores it using all kinds of different techniques. I've learned so much from Jared, and I really appreciate what he does. And the last one is Scotty from Fixing Furniture. He is Canadian and has a furniture repair shop. I learned something from every single one of his videos, from techniques to matching colors. Again, a great channel that I highly recommend. The next category are the artists. These are folks who make things that are just beautiful, and usually at the beginning of the video, I don't know exactly what they're going to do, and by the end of the video, my mouth is hanging open, my eyes are wide, and I can't believe that they just did that. The first is Matt Jordan. He uses a lot of wood that, to me, I would just throw on the burn pile, but he makes some absolutely beautiful and unbelievable pieces. Next is Olivier Gomis, who does some segmented wood turning that will absolutely blow your mind. Beautiful, intricate pieces, and some of them are huge. Next is Peter Brown. He does a lot of resin turning, and he uses a lot of really interesting, strange, and unusual objects in his resin turnings. That's really fascinating and a lot of fun to watch. And the last is Ashley Harwood. She is a professional wood turner and teacher. You'll actually see her in the next section also. A lot of her pieces are beautiful, and her videos themselves are also really beautiful and well produced. And an honorable mention is Bobby Dukes from Bobby Dukes Art. He is an artist who uses all kinds of different media for his art, including wood. So I'm going to include him here. His videos are kind of goofy, out of control, and I don't really know how else to put it, but they are extremely entertaining, and he is an absolutely brilliant artist. The next section is the teachers. I mentioned Ashley Harwood already. As I said, she is a wood turning teacher. You can, I think, actually schedule private lessons with her. The next one is Brian Havens, who unfortunately I don't believe is posting videos anymore. His last one was from many years ago, but he has a lot of really good wood turning videos up where he talks even about the physics of different wood turning tools. They are really great videos to learn from, and he's really the guy that I learned the basics of wood turning from. Mike Walt is another great wood turning teacher. He has a voice that I could just listen to for hours. I love his accent. I find it extremely easy to listen to. Glenn from Worth the Effort is another great wood turning teacher. Again, he talks about the physics of wood turning, and it really helps get into your head how the wood turning actually works. Kent from Turn a Wood Bowl is another really great wood turning teacher. He goes over the basics and the more advanced techniques for turning mostly bowls. Stumpy Nubs is another great channel for learning. He does wood turning tips, he does tool reviews. It's another great channel to learn from. And finally, Steve Ramsey from Woodworking for Mere Mortals, another great channel for learning the basics of woodworking. And if you're interested in more woodworking with just hand tools, Rex Kruger from Rex Works It Out is another great channel. The last category are the builders or tip givers. I don't really know what else to call them, but these are folks who do woodworking tips videos, who build projects, and just have overall good woodworking content. My favorite channel in this category is probably Bourbon Moth Woodworking. Jason, the host, is goofier than he might look from the outside, but his content is great. He's built some really incredible projects and does a lot of really great woodworking tips videos that I've learned a lot from. Another great channel is Make Something. Dave Picciuto is the host there. Again, he does a lot of really great projects and does tool reviews, including cheap tools from AliExpress and Temu. It's another fun channel to watch. A few more similar channels are Pask Makes, Lincoln Street Woodworks, and Four Eyes Furniture. 3x3 Custom is another favorite channel of mine because in addition to making projects, Tamar also goes through the process of building these, of engineering them, and includes the failures as well as the successes, and I really enjoy seeing that process work its way out. CJ Drill is one of my favorite channels for woodworking tips, and not just woodworking, but tools in general. 731 Woodworks has become one of my favorite channels for tool reviews and learning what new tools are out there. Of course, Mark Spagnolo, the Wood Whisperer, has been on YouTube forever, it seems. He has a whole lot of videos that are pretty much all great. And if we're talking about tools in any capacity, I would be remiss if I did not mention Project Farm. Todd is someone who buys all of his own tools for reviewing and does really in-depth, really scientific experiments on all of them to see which one is the best. And the final channel that I think you should subscribe to is this one, Bethesda Woodworks. No, seriously, I do hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it educational. I love all of these channels and there are lots more woodworking channels that I follow, but again, I just don't have time to mention them all or else this video would be 2 hours long. I will leave links to all of these channels down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe if you haven't already, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and I hope to see you next time.